person who uses sorry, please, thank you, politeness. It's a nature, but it's also a habit. It's something I grew up, maybe with, or we all, we all have our tendencies. But if you don't hear something, I guess, if saying, it's someone's nature, right? It's not something we can. Is that a habit, or is that a nature, or is that
politeness?
And to see it to someone else, is it expected? It shouldn't be expected, right?
Politeness can be nature, but how you express that politeness can be habit.
Right.
Thank you, sorry, this, that. Is a cultivated habit. Politeness also is to be cultivated, but that can become your nature. It is possible that you may be a polite person by nature, but may not necessarily be saying sorry and thank you, etc. It depends on the culture. So there is a form and there is spirit. So politeness is a spirit, and how it expresses form. So different culture may express it differently. Some people hug, So that from begin with that, to some people keep a long distance, and you can still be polite. So the Indians always keep distance.
Right.
Italians will hug, Americans will at least shake hands. This will say, you are there and I am here. So forms are culture.
What if you replace politeness with anger in the same context? Saying at what point is you have an anger problem versus...
You see, anger is something that happens to you. You cannot be deliberately angry. You cannot be deliberately polite. You cannot be deliberately angry. Anger is a reaction that happens. Being polite is an action that you do. Action and reaction are. So anger is a reaction. You have no choice. You're not in control. It happens to you. Because of certain things within you, of course. Then what happens on the provokes, pushes some buttons in you. Those buttons are there, and by which we can be provoked. So anger, greed, jealousy, all these impulses are of that nature. They are called impulses, which we don't do, which happen. Our Swami always said, when you advise, don't get angry, it's a wrong advice. When can you say don't get angry? Provided is freedom to get angry or not get angry. There is no freedom not to get angry. You understand what I am saying? It's right to say don't get angry provided you have freedom not to get angry. We don't have freedom not to, because if we don't get angry, anger gets us. If you get the anger, then you have freedom not to get it. Anger gets us. So we have no freedom. And so we have to then do something within ourselves that anger doesn't get us. When anger finds something here, then it gets me. If I remove that, anger doesn't get me. So that way, anger and things like that have to be worked upon, understood, the anatomy of anger.
So is it considered as an emotion? The anger?
It's considered impulse. They may call it emotion in psychology, but we would call it impulse. So kindness or affection, we call it emotion. And these are all reactions or impulses which are to be given up. Psychology may not see the need of giving up anger. So if you get angry, then you have a punching, you express your anger. But that is not right. Don't suppress. Express. and then destroy. They get destroyed.
Wouldn't the cause of the anger
Expectation.
but if a child drops a glass and breaks it, and we get angry, I would think it's unfair. But if
Expectation. That you are attached to the glass, and the breaking of the glass breaks something within you.
what if my anger is coming from somewhere else?
There is
What
a
is
sense
the-
of loss, and that's why you get angry. Glass is valuable to you. So when that is broken, you see that the valuable is lost. And the child is responsible for that, so you get angry. If a child drops some other things and breaks, everything child drops doesn't make you angry. When some valuable thing is dropped, that's what makes you angry, isn't it? So it's not the child or not dropping. It is the value that you see in what is lost. So it is a sense of loss that makes you angry in that particular instance. But in general, it is expectation that makes you angry. Unfulfilled expectation makes you angry. With expectation from a child as to how the child should conduct itself. When it does not, and then people have different threshold of anger. For somebody it takes just a little thing to get angry, to get provoked. For somebody it may take a little more and a little more. So we have to train ourselves that we don't get easily provoked. The little things don't provoke us, that we can maintain our disposition of mind, frame of mind. Everybody get angry at some point in time, but you keep on raising that limit of tolerance. Intolerance makes us angry also. That's it. You cannot tolerate something.
What if something else is bothering you? How do you stop yourself from transferring that elsewhere? But, I mean, I guess if you sit and think about it, yeah, you can stop yourself. But sometimes you just don't have that time or presence of mind to rationalize things in your head. How do you, I don't know.
But we have to watch out before it gets into us and then controls us. So if you are watching out, if these tendencies enter our mind and take hold of the mind, if we are careful at that time, then perhaps this situation will not arise. Once it has got hold of the mind, then it requires definitely, you need some time. You need to step back and think about it and see the irrationality of it or see the damage it does to you. So don't allow anybody to enter a house, not everybody. Some people you just open, you don't even open the door, you see from there. Some people you open the door and keep the chain on and talk and let it go. Somewhere you open the door but keep him there and talk. Somebody comes up to here and there. Somebody comes up to there. Not everybody comes into your bedroom. So how you maintain those limits? Who comes there? In our mind also. We don't allow everybody and anything to come into the mind and take hold of our mind.
So how do you get rid of those buttons that can be pushed that gets you that reaction of anger that you can't control?
First of all, recognizing those buttons that we have. And then understanding the anatomy of those buttons. If somebody pushes a button, as I said, anatomy of anger is expectation or demand. which comes from some lack within me, because of which I make a demand, as I said this morning also, that person should make me comfortable, happy. That's the expectation. When it is not fulfilled, then I become disappointed, I get hurt and I react. So, intolerance also may become our habit. We may become oversensitive and get hurt by little things also. So, sense of hurt creates anger also. And sometimes we become very touchy. Or more touchy I am, more likely I am to be hurt and more likely I am to get angry. So we have to recognize those things and understand and give other people the space, respect them for what they are, minimize our demands if we can. The habit of making demands that they should do this for me in general, they should make me happy. More of that, then more possibility of anger, because our expectation will not be fulfilled. So anger in particular, to take that case, arises from our demands which are stored inside. I may not express them, but it's there within me. And so I expect people to behave in a certain way, conduct themselves in a certain way. I may not express them, but I expect them. When that doesn't happen, then also I get angry. So people don't know sometimes, why did you get angry? What did I do? But they don't know what we are expecting from them. Basically, they did not do anything, whatever they did or did not do, somehow they failed to fulfill my expectation. I want them to keep quiet. And they're talking. I want them to talk, they keep quiet. I want to do this, they don't do it. I don't do this, they do it. So, we are demanding people anyway, but we have to watch out our own nature and slowly discover the demand and try to slowly let them drop them. The demand can be dropped by accepting situations as they are. A demand is the situation should change. I'm not comfortable in the situation, it will change. So the temperature keep on changing, a little too hot, do this, too cold, keep turning that knob, and you can never. So this is how we become so sensitive everywhere. We want this change, that change. And we expect people also to be sensitive to our needs, and then we find that the people have their own needs again. And then, so there is sometimes a clash between expectation that one has and the other one has. So recognize this. And the giving up expectation, you never lose anything. Because expectation is a bondage. Give that up, that means you are that much free. Expectation is a potential situation of making me upset or unhappy. And how can we give it up? By accepting a thing as it is. A situation, a person, whatever. That's called prasad buddhi. That Ishvara has created that. So what is Ishvara's prasad? So that's where prasad buddhi comes. In accepting things as they are. By our recognition. Ultimately it is Ishvara who creates. Even though it may look like a given person did it, but ultimately Ishvara does it. Through the agency of a person or whatever. And therefore, in accepting that person, I am accepting Ishvara. In rejecting everything, I am ultimately rejecting Ishvara, in a way, When I reject something, I am rejecting one who has created that. So acceptance of Ishvara means Ishvara's creation, of people, situation, things, being, as much as we can. I mean, we are not at a point where we can accept everything, but then as much as we can. At the same time, also a value for stretching our limits of acceptance. That is called growth. As I go along in my life, I become more and more accommodating, more and more accepting, out of compassion, out of kindness, out of tolerance, out of accommodation. Then fewer and fewer buttons, more and more comfort. And by our being comfortable, we automatically contribute to the world, because then we are always comfortable with a person who is comfortable. We become uncomfortable in presence of a person who is uncomfortable. You can sense the person is not happy. Some people are very sensitive, very demanding, and then we feel uncomfortable. You don't know what will happen. So you do something and how it will be interpreted, how it will be taken. So you always are watchful and careful and always keep it. So keeping that distance then boundaries are such that you don't go close. And so more people can take us for granted, better it is. People complain they take me for granted. But really speaking, it should not matter that they take me for granted. That means they are comfortable with me. I can be a source of comfort for them. That is my contribution. That's all contribution. Being accommodative, being kind, all this is called contribution. A contributor. But basically it is a hurt, a sense of rejection, that is what bothers us the most. What makes me angry, a sense of rejection. And when do I feel rejected? When my expectation is rejected, I feel rejected. I have expectation of you, you don't fulfill that expectation. What you rejected is my expectation. What I interpret is you rejected me. So that identification of even if you have expectation, we can create a distance between myself and my expectation. My expectation is rejected. I don't have to interpret that I am rejected. You follow? Okay, I wanted something which has not happened, doesn't mean that I am rejected. Even if we give that distance, then the sense of rejection will not come. What hurts us most is being rejected. And we are what our expectations are. An expectation rejected, we will reject. So create that distance. There are expectations. That's not me. So person has not accepted my expectation, has rejected my expectation. Doesn't mean they rejected me. If I don't feel rejected, there's no problem at all. I feel rejected, I feel hurt, and the hurt causes anger at the one who rejected me. So when I hold somebody else responsible for my hurt, that becomes an object of anger. If I hold myself responsible, I become an object of my own anger. So anger may be directed out there or to myself, out of disappointment, frustration. And so create a distance between myself and expectation. It's all right that I may have expectation, but I do not demand that my expectations fulfilled. I have the freedom to have expectation. I did not demand that my expectations should be necessarily fulfilled. That also is okay. By sympathy, compassion for that person. Because everybody cannot fulfill our expectation. Very often they don't even know what expectation we have, We may have something within us that may not express it, and some people do not know that Swamiji likes this. I may not talk. But I have an expectation that the host should know what I like, what I don't like. And they may not know. And I may get upset. So sometimes they don't know what expectation they have. Sometimes they know, but Swami, क्या करेंगे अभी हमारे ये तो we don't have this particular spice. What can we do? We may have haldi, we don't have it. So I am accustomed to eating, that turmeric, green turmeric. May I have that? Sorry, Swami, we don't have. So they don't know what my expectation are. Sometimes they know what expected, but they can't fulfill it. What kind of fellows you are? You don't even keep this. Now that is becomes my problem. So how we expect other people to always make me the center of their life? It doesn't, that's not practical. So accept people and their limitations and their freedom. Okay. This person does it this way, okay. They have this kind of system. You go into that place and system and you adjust. Not demand the system should change for you. So for a Swami who is always a guest from here and there and there and there, you go into a new system every sort of way, The people are very kind and they always beforehand get information and then do everything. So I never have that problem. But sometimes they may not know. Oh Swami, you don't eat onion and garlic? I'm sorry, I did not know. Sometimes it can happen. Okay. Oh, you don't like this in your food? Sugar in your food? Oh, we make it this way, so sorry. I'm just giving you my own example, simple example. But what I'm saying is that we have so many expectations within ourselves which may not be expressed. But when they are not fulfilled, then I may blame people and get upset with them, or some way express my unhappiness. Some people make it a point to express their unhappiness and make it a point that I didn't like it. That also is not necessary. Keep it with yourself. I need not spread unhappiness. My unhappiness spread to others, That itself is a good seva, great seva. So we are always very scared in presence of some people because we don't know, what will they like, what will they not like, what will they do, what will they talk. Some people always like it that way. So they always make it a point that everybody is always scared. That's what they like. They like to control. But we are not comfortable in that presence. We don't like unpredictability. We don't like to be controlled.